Hi everyone, it's great to be here. Today I will talk about how to think about AI for work. In this session, we're going to cut through the buzz and the fluff and get practical about how AI can actually help you transform the way your organization runs. This session is designed to help you bridge that gap between AI potential and real adoption in a way that's practical, secure, and actually works inside day-to-day operations. A couple words about me. I'm Daniel Chai, an AI product manager at monday.com. I'm really passionate about teaching people about technology and AI, although honestly, I don't have much time to do it, which is why I'm super excited to have put this session together and to be able to share this with you. I talked to many customers and their feedback is very consistent with what recent surveys actually show, which is that only 5% of AI initiatives really succeed. They struggle when teams don't know where to start, how to govern them, and how to integrate them into existing ways of working. That's why thinking about AI at the workflow and decision level is so critical, especially at an organizational scale. By the end of this session, my hope is that you will feel genuinely inspired and leave with practical ideas you can use to make your organization's workflow faster, cheaper, and more reliable using AI. Now, AI isn't magic, at least not yet. It's great at certain kinds of tasks like analyzing information, summarizing, categorizing, and writing. But you should not rely on it for things that require a good judgment call, accountability, or high-risk decisions. In my mind, right now, there are 4 kinds of AI tools, and I think it will help us to talk about them in these 4 categories. The first is AI workflows. Then we have AI chat agents with our focus on Monday Sidekick. We have AI builders with our focus on Monday Vibe. And finally, we have AI workers with our focus on Monday agents. Just understanding the differences between those will already put you ahead of most people trying to implement AI. And even if you are not the person building it hands-on, this gives you the tools to ask the right questions and quickly figure out what kind of AI you actually need for a specific problem. Let's start with AI workflows. These are the workflows and automations we already know and love, just infused with a little AI at the right moments. And as a rule, if you can solve your problem with an AI workflow, you should, because that usually means the work does not require a human trigger, it's repeatable, and has very clear success criteria. Now, before you start out any AI initiative, map out the workflow you want to solve. Most workflows include at least one human decision point. For example, the workflow I'm showing here starts with a person who has to categorize a message, and then different people handle that next step, depending on whether it's a bug, an inquiry, or a feature request. AI can support, speed up, and sometimes fully automate processes around those decision points. But if your workflow has no human decision points, AI usually doesn't add much value. Once you have identified the human decision points, zoom in and ask, what's broken here? Is it slow? Is it expensive? Is it error-prone? If yes, those are strong signals that AI might fit here. If you got this far, you might already be excited with your findings. But before you set out on your new AI initiative, you also want to size the opportunity. For example, solving bugs might be slow and expensive, but if you rarely get any bugs, building a complex AI process for resolving them automatically might not have the right return. As I promised at the start, let's get practical. I want to show you how we solve the human categorization and email personalization using AI. And of course, I will do it using monday.com. If you have heard of the concept of agent orchestration, this is exactly what Monday Workflow allows you to do, and I will cover. Here I have my support intake board with a workflow similar to what I showed on the slide. You can see the messages customers have sent in. This one is actually in Spanish, which we'll fix in a second. Today, each message gets manually categorized into either a bug, feature, or inquiry. To start off, simply, let's create a new workflow that translates every message to English using an AI column. I click the plus to create a new column and select more columns. Now I have an entire AI-powered column category. Next, I'll choose Translate. Here, I can set the message as the input and target language as English. Before moving on, you can actually preview the results. Once I click Apply, this will backfill all existing items, so it will update all items that are already on the board. And from this point forward, whenever a new item is added or a message changes, this column will automatically update with the translation. And that's it. I just created a fully functional AI automation. Now, let's take it a step further. I want items to be automatically categorized so that the next steps of the workflow are not stuck on a person doing it manually. But message type column already exists. So in this case, what I need to do is go to the existing column and select the auto assign label. Now I need to choose the input source the AI should use. In this case, the message. And I can preview what it's going to do. Let's apply it. And there we go. As you can see, those items moved into their relevant groups based on how they were automatically categorized by the AI. Now, let's personalize the email response from a fixed and boring pre-made template to an AI-generated one. First, I'm going to create a new column where I can save the email. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't want the AI-generated email to be sent immediately without a chance to review it. Even if you want the email to be sent automatically, you should add this as a reference to what was actually sent. Now let's create a new workflow using Monday workflows, which works in a very similar way to other workflow automation tools like Make, Zapier, or N8N. The first thing we need to do is set up the trigger. In our case, we want it to be when the status changes, which is now an automated process because of our AI column. I'll choose my board, Support Form Intake, from the previous example. I'll choose the relevant column, Message Type, and select features which will make the workflow only run for this label. Next, let's choose the action. In this case, we want to write an email, so I will choose the AI Content Writer action. I'll select a professional tone. I will paste my prompt where I'm asking it to create a short email that acknowledges we received the message, and I'm passing in the original message as an input, so it can reference what the customer actually said. Finally, we need to save the result. Let's create another action to change column value, and I'll set the email response column to whatever the AI generated in the previous step. This might seem a little complex, but after you set up a couple of these, it becomes pretty intuitive. Let's publish it. We could have also added a step to send the email automatically by adding another action to the workflow, but I won't do that for this demo. Now let's test it by publishing the workflow, which generally takes a few seconds. While it's working, let me just say that we used one of many possible AI capabilities in workflows, so I highly recommend you go in and explore all the different capabilities. I'll change one of the items to retrigger the workflow because of the status change. This might take a second until the workflow triggers and the AI runs. It should show up here, and there we go. You can see the email that was written, and it correctly references the customer's request. In this case, multi-language support. So now we have a personalized email that's automatically drafted for us. And that's basically it. From here, I would want someone to review this email before sending it. Later on, I'll show you how to build a clean reviewer experience using AI and vibe coding. Now, we just covered the absolute tip of the iceberg for AI workflows, but we have so much more to cover. Let's move on to AI chat agents. You have all heard of ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, and so on. Chat agents are easy to adopt because they're human-triggered and they're great for unstructured, one-off work, the kind of daily tasks that don't really neatly fit into a predefined structured workflow. One of the biggest mistakes I see customers make is trying to take what should be a workflow step and trying to solve it using an AI agent. Sidekick is monday.com's chat agent, but unlike generic assistants, it's aware of your work context. It comes with governance and security built in, and it's discoverable right where people already do their work, inside Monday. Because even if you build something amazing yourself, if people in your org don't discover it at the moment they need it, or it's not able to understand what the user is trying to do because it lacks work context, it won't be adopted. Let's see it in action. I'm going back to our board, and I'm going to add a new status column. And now I am moving a couple of items to status done so I can show you a popular use case. Okay, great. Now let's open AI Sidekick from the account level view. This is Sidekick without being connected to a specific board or item. This is where people can start their day and ask questions about their work. Let's ask, what tasks did I close in the last 7 days on support form intake? Sidekick is great for asking about board activity, analyzing changes, and summarizing what happened. In this case, it summarizes the items that I closed as recent activity. Let's try what bugs are currently open on me. This is another great use case for asking about my work. And since we moved 2 of 5 bugs to done, we can see that 3 are still open. Now let's ask, which task should I work on first? This is where I shift Sidekick from managing work, something I could have manually done before, to helping me do it. In this case, making a prioritization decision. Let's continue on this track by asking it, how would you suggest I should approach this? Sidekick will hopefully now suggest steps on how to approach this task, actually helping me to do my work based on the content of the task. And from what I can see, it's listing some really good ideas for how to tackle this task. It's almost like having your own personal Sidekick. Now, let's open Sidekick from inside the board. The advantage here is context. Sidekick knows exactly where it is. Here I can ask it to take actions on this board. For example, can you move the duplicate messages task to done? Write that I found the bug in the message service and tag Shani. So it needs to find the relevant item, change the status, and write an update with this information. And you can see it finds the right item, even if the name isn't perfect match, and moves it to done. Let's open the item, and we can see the update was written and Shani was tagged. It's still not using Monday user tagging mechanism, so there is room for improvement here. Now, what is really cool is that I can open Sidekick for a specific item by clicking the star icon. Now it's working in the item context, and you can see all the action suggestions are specific to this item. I can ask how this issue was resolved without having to mention the board or item, because that is already in the context of the agent, as you can see up here. So that was a short demo of Sidekick, Monday's internal chat agent. Now, you might have heard of MCP, which has been making a lot of noise lately. MCP is a protocol that lets a service provider like Monday expose a set of tools and actions in a way that AI agents can understand and use efficiently. In practice, it means that an agent can read and visualize information as well as take actions on your Monday account. We package this capability as a data connector, which is now, through our partnerships, natively available through the stores in chat agents like Claude, ChatGPT, and Microsoft Copilot. So if your organization is already using these agents, connecting Monday to them can make those agents much more useful for completing work. I prepared this side-by-side demo for you so you can see how all of them work together. Small prayer to the demo gods. I'm going to ask Copilot, ChatGPT, and Claude the same thing we asked Sidekick about our currently open bugs. Let's go. Of course, all three agents in this demo have the Monday data connector already set up, which might require an admin to enable in your org. Copilot came in first, and not only did it return the bugs, but I can see it also summarized recent activity, which is really nice. And we can see Claude finished, and let's give ChatGPT another few seconds. Okay, amazing. One of the things we are gradually releasing is the ability to see Monday UI directly inside of these agents. This is what we call agentic UI. I will just ask ChatGPT to show me these bugs. Now it will render the Monday board directly inside ChatGPT. Here you can see the items and interact with them. Let me just move that to full screen so it's more clear. Here I can even select an item and see the updates in it directly from ChatGPT. You can use this connector to get insights from Monday and automate manual work, such as creating items in a board or even creating the actual board. If you add the data connector to one of these agents, you can simply ask them what it can now do with Monday, and it will tell you. It's expanding and changing every day. So if you tried it already and it was not able to do what you wanted, give it another shot. It's changing all the time. With Monday MCP, you're able to empower any agent with your work context, making it that much more important for your org. And these agents can meet you wherever you are. For example, here is an incident report for one of the bugs inside Microsoft Word. And on the right, Copilot is open. I can say, can you add this incident report to Monday as a document? Then create an update on this item. Here I'm pasting the link of the relevant Monday item. Inside, have a summary of the incident and link to the full report. Also tag Shani so she is notified, and ask her to review this and let me know if she has any comments. Now, because it's open in Word, Copilot has access to the document content. Copilot always asks for confirmation before taking any action that creates or modifies data. So let's confirm those changes and let it create the item and update. This might take a bit, but in the meantime, let me move back into Monday and see if it works. Here's the item. It now has an update, and it links to the doc. Perfect. Doing these things manually would have been pretty tedious, so this allows me to clear more time for higher value work. While connecting these agents is pretty new, we are seeing it being adopted by a lot of organizations and users. If there is anything I want you to take away from this section, it's that chat agents are great for human-triggered one-off work, especially when they have the right information and tools in the right context. Now we are getting to the part I'm personally most excited about, AI builders. AI has been especially strong in the world of code and configuration. You've probably heard the phrase vibe coding, where AI helps write software. AI builders are different because the AI helps you create, configure, and extend systems in ways that used to require an expert or even an entire engineering team. For the next part, I need your full attention because what I'm about to show you is one of the fastest ways to drive real AI transformation in your organization, even though many people don't think of it as AI at all. This is Monday Vibe. Vibe is a fundamental shift in how custom apps are built on top of Monday. It takes Monday's open platform power and puts it in the hands of everyone for any use case. To put the impact in perspective, the release of Vibe changed the amount of apps being built weekly from dozens to thousands. That's the scale of the change. And beyond solving individual problems, Vibe has two strategic impacts on every organization. First, it dramatically reduces shadow IT, employees using unapproved tools and apps in a risky way that exposes sensitive data. With Vibe, people can build what they need inside of Monday with security, permissions, and governance built in. Second, it enables tech stack consolidation. Think about how many complex, expensive tools you use just to solve one narrow problem. With Vibe, you can often spin up a purpose-built app in minutes and remove that tool entirely from your stack. And we're already seeing this in the real world. One of our customers, a very large food company, is in the process of replacing a $100,000 per year enterprise knowledge management platform with a $10 Vibe app. It's kind of insane. So let's go back to our board and look at our inquiries. I'm going to change their labels to trigger the workflow that loads the email responses we set up earlier. Let's give it a second to write our email response drafts for each item. Now, imagine we want a support person to review these responses before they go out. Until recently, that would have meant reviewing text inside these tiny cells, which is a terrible experience. Until now, even if you were willing to invest the funds and time to build a custom app to solve this, most customers don't even know they're able to do this using Monday's app framework. But now, because of Monday Vibe, that's all changed. Before going to Vibe, I will add a new label column. Let's add the values pending review and send response. I'm doing this because my idea is that when an item is pending review, the support person reviews it, and once approved, they mark it as send response, which can trigger another automation to actually send the email. Now let's create a new board view with Monday Vibe. Monday Vibe truly allows you to turn your words into working apps. So let's build one that will solve our email problem. I want to create a new utility that allows support agents to review email responses and edit it before sending it back to the customer. Show a carousel of all items that have message type inquiry, where the label is pending review. The support person should see all the details, including email, phone of the customer, the original message, and the response email. If they edit the response, save that to the email response. Have a button to send, which should change the label to, let me remind myself, yes, send response when clicked. Also have a skip button. Great, so I've basically brain dumped the app idea, and let's see if Monday Vibe can build it. Now, Vibe is different from generic Vibe tools because it's built directly on top of Monday and your board. So it automatically inherits permission, governance, and security. It knows exactly who the user is who is using it and what they're allowed to see and what they're not allowed to see. I want to highlight two important points while this is being built. First, the app itself doesn't actually use AI. AI is used to write the code for the app, but once it's built, It runs on standard UI and logic, just like any other Monday experience. Secondly, it's security. Imagine a support agent uses this app but doesn't have permission to see the sensitive data like a customer's phone number or email. Will they see it in the Vibe app? Of course not. This is where Vibe is very different than external Vibe building tools like Lovable or Base44. Amazing, I see our new email preview app for support agents is ready. I just probably reduced weeks of work into minutes. Let's take a look. Okay, I've got 5 items pending review, which shows me it's pulling only the items that have the type inquiry from the board, just like I asked. I can move those items like a carousel. This is exactly what I wanted. I can see the item title, type, customer details, the original message, and the message response email. I can ask for a different design, but we can see that this is already a huge improvement on the previous experience. Let's test it. I'll edit the response. Let's just add some placeholder text. Test response update. And the small text below says it was saved. Great. Now I'll click send, and that should update the label to send response in the board. Let's go verify that. Open the item. Perfect. The email response updated and the status changed to send response. So just like that, we built an app that removes a ton of noise and gives the support agent a focused experience designed for their job. Now, one more thing I'm noticing, the support agent might not know how to respond because the message is in Spanish. So here's where we do want to add AI capabilities to our app. Let's ask Monday Vibe to add this capability. Next to the original message and email response, can you add a button to translate using AI? Once I click it, translate the original message to English and have a button on the right of each section to show the original language. Let it run. From my experience, editing an app takes a lot shorter than creating a new one. So let's give it a few more seconds and done. You can see it even warns us this Vibe app uses AI credits. So it's consuming Monday AI credits when we run those AI actions. Now I click translate and great. Now I can read Spanish messages in English instantly. This is the big picture, building focused apps for specific workflows that may or may not have AI capabilities in them. Now it's a bit more technical, but you can also review the code and copy it in case you want to use it for another project or review the behavior of the app. And finally, mobile support. One of the biggest issues with enterprise software has always been complexity, which makes it extremely hard to use for mobile. Now with Vibe, you can easily create mobile-friendly experiences. That has been transformative for use cases where people work in the field and can only use mobile phones. I've heard from many customers that they're very excited about the possibilities this opens up for them. Now let's publish this app to our board. And there it is. It's now a board view. From here, we can share it, grant access, and people can start using it immediately. Vibe is evolving rapidly to support additional contexts, such as an object, which is the menu item in the left pane that can work with multiple boards, item views, widgets, and even a standalone app. So that was Vibe, extending Monday by building use case specific apps that are dramatically easier for employees to work with, rather than Monday's general purpose board. To me, the definition of what customizable software is has really changed from something you can configure to something you can imagine and build. But now I want to show you how AI can also help with tedious configuration work, such as setting up boards, forms, and solutions, which can be time-consuming and require a certain amount of expertise. Let's look at a couple of examples of AI builders to help us here. Let's go back into Monday. First, let's create a form. Now, imagine if we could create a form just by describing the goal that we want to complete. Now that's possible. You can see we now have an AI builder for forms, where we can describe what we want. I'll ask for an IT intake form and click Create. This speeds up work by generating the form structure for me. It's conversational, so I can refine it, add questions, remove questions, adjust wording, and when I'm happy, it will create it. And it also creates the board and structure needed to store the form submissions. Let's do another example. Let's create a new board for tracking bugs. I have a process for collecting software bugs. Create a board for tracking them and their progress. Send. Takes a few seconds. And we can see a board gets created with the kind of structure you would expect. Description, status, priority, and even AI-powered fields for things like auto-prioritization. Also, I really like that it adds some example data to help me understand the board. Now, let's pull out the big guns. The solution builder, currently named Monday Magic. This too is meant for creating a whole solution, not just one board. Because in reality, a solution often includes multiple connected boards with complex relations and automations. Okay, let's try it. I want a solution for tracking bugs. My software has multiple versions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a mobile app. Each bug should be connected to a version. I want a new dashboard for tracking all bugs and their status, and a form for manually opening new bugs. Now the AI does the deeper thinking. It considers flows, the roles, and what needs to be connected, and should create a complete work solution with all these components. Okay, and here we go. We have the versions board, and here is the bugs tracking board. It includes in it a bug submission form, which is great. I can see it has the version values I described as a dropdown. So it did follow the instructions, maybe even too literally. And it also has the dashboard that is already configured for us. From here, we can watch a video walkthrough. You can see that in the chat. It's really cool, so check it out, but I won't have time to show it today. You also have a solution overview that describes the design, components, and workflows of the solution. Nice, so let's add it to our workspace. And just like that, in a few minutes, I implemented a pretty complex Monday setup using Magic. I hope that this was valuable and that it maybe sparked ideas in your head for what you can use these tools for. I've basically made a Vibe app for every single one of my team's core workflows, and it has made us so much more productive. Some things can simply not be narrowed down into a workflow. They require dynamic, real-time thinking. This is where the AI workforce can execute at scale and expand what your team can achieve. Monday offers agents that are built into the platform and act for you at scale, in the context of your work. They include expert agents for end-to-end use cases and an agent builder to create custom agents. You can find these agents in all of Monday's products, but today I will show you what a couple workers look like in CRM and a sneak peek into the upcoming agent builder. So let's jump right into Monday CRM. On my leads board, you can now see AI agents on the left pane and on top of the board. Right now, I don't have any leads. Let's fix that. I will open AI agents where I have a native Monday agent for lead generation. All I need to do is configure my ICP, the ideal customer profile I want to target. I can see a preview of the leads that this configuration would generate. And that's it. Now I can configure the agent with the details I want to collect and when it should trigger. Now, if we go back to my board, it will manually trigger for the first time and add all these leads. And from now on, it will trigger according to the schedule and add more leads. Let me just add myself for the next part of the demo. As you can see, they all include the details we asked for. I'm going to add my actual phone number here, so hopefully it gets masked and you're not all calling me. Now let's set up a sales agent, but really we can use this for everything that we want. Now I'll give a disclaimer that this is currently being rolled out, so you will only see it if you are in the US and a non-enterprise account. Let's call the agent Anna, give her a friendly tone. She speaks English, and I want her to speak first. Permissions look good. Let's not dive into that right now. The trigger will be when someone on the leads board has its status moved to qualified. Let's add some call instructions. Reach out from monday.com to set up the introduction meeting with our support representative. And some simple conversation instructions. Ask the customer some details about why they are considering monday.com and ask for a few availability slots for next week. Now, I don't want the agent to say anything wrong about Monday, so I will add this instruction. Don't answer any questions about Monday. Just let them know that one of our reps will go through everything in the meeting with them. We can also add some knowledge sources like documents or links, but we're running out of time here, so let's move on. Here we can test out the agent, but I will skip this right now for the purpose of this demo. That's it. Let's get back to our leads board. Now we update the status and let the magic happen. See? All right. Oh, here it's calling. Let me put it on loudspeaker.
Hi, Daniel. I'm Anna, reaching out from monday.com to set up the introduction meeting with our support representative.
Hi, Anna.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I'd love to ask you a few quick questions to better understand your needs. Could you share a bit about why you're considering monday.com and what you're hoping to achieve with it? Also, do you have a few time slots next week when you'd be available for a meeting with one of our reps?
Yeah, I'm considering Monday for our organization. We have about 20 people, and I just heard really good things about it. And I heard it's now an AI first platform. It's super exciting. So yeah, I'll be happy to speak with someone.
That sounds great. Thank you for sharing a bit about your organization and what caught your interest. It's definitely exciting to hear you're interested in the AI capabilities as well. Just to make sure we connect you with the right specialist, could you tell me what kind of workflows or projects you're mainly looking to manage with monday.com? And could you please let me know a couple of dates and times next week that would work for you to have a chat with one of our reps? They'll go through everything in detail and answer all your questions. Thank you for letting me know.
I'm looking for CRM, and my open slots are next week, Tuesday at 12, next week Wednesday at 4, and next week Thursday at 8.
So you're mainly interested in using monday.com for CRM purposes. That's very helpful. I've noted your available slots. Tuesday at 12, Wednesday at 16, Thursday at 8. One of our reps will reach out to confirm the meeting and go through everything with you in detail. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your organization or specific CRM needs before our meeting?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time and for sharing this information. Our representative will reach out soon to confirm the meeting and discuss everything in detail. Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Well, that was pretty cool. Now that the call is finished, I can see a new timeline item was just added. Let's check it out. I can see the update from Anna with all the details of the call in the summary. And now on the left, I can see a full transcript of the conversation, exactly what was said by the agent and by the lead. And I even have the recording, and if I want, I can listen to that. Now, let's head back to the board. Before joining the call with the customer, I can open Sidekick and ask, what is everything I should know before meeting with this lead? Nice. Sidekick has access to the conversation with the agent and can give me context from there. Now, just like Vibe enables you to turn your words into apps, we want you to be able to turn your words into agents. I will show you a preview of the upcoming Agent Builder, which is coming out in the near future, but I will keep it very short. You will have to go into AI agents again inside Work Management. Here the agents are already built. Let me show you how to create a new one. You can basically add a prompt, but let's use something from the templates right now. Let's give it a second to build. What you can see now is our new agent, which is comprised from a trigger and a plan in text describing what it should do with a ton of actions you can choose from and configure. I know this was really fast and short, but I really wanted to have a chance to share with you what kind of things Monday AI is working on and what's coming next. And we covered so much. AI workflows, AI chat agents, AI builders, AI workers. Finally, before we finish, I just want to add, AI transformation doesn't happen because of one tool or one team. It happens when leaders like you apply the right level of AI to the right workflows. My hope is that this session gave you not just ideas, but a clear model you can take back to your organization and build on. It's time to finally make AI work. Thank you everyone for your time, and see you on the next one.